climate change, bamboo for climate change. And Dr. J.V. Sharma, Dr. Pramod Khan, Dr. Rai, all of there. They'll be introduced appropriately. And as briefly as I understand, with my little knowledge in bamboo sector, I consider that I am sailing a small boat in the vast ocean of bamboo sector. So bamboo is the most, as I know, bamboo is the most environmental. It sequesters more than 35%, more than 35% of carbon dioxide as compared to other plant species on this earth, and the cumulative carbon sequestration value is considered to be around 60%, and it emits more than 35%. 35% oxygen as compared to other green species, plant species on this earth. So it is considered to be the most environmental species. So certainly it will contribute towards climate change. It has a very important role in climate change mitigation and with the environmental values. So the experts will share these attributes of bamboo for climate change in more detail. And I'll request now Dr. R.J. Rao to share his thoughts. And at the end of this last session of this journey, we'll have a few more bamboo. So I hand over to Dr. R.J. Rao for his opinions and thoughts. Dr. R.J. Rao.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prajat ji. Really, it is a very useful and worthy journey of different months which initially started thinking, and it is definitely all credit goes to you. We are all just doing the thing and our thing. Today's experts, they all came for this last seminar on the bamboo and climate change and mitigation thing. Really, I think I was not expected when we thought initially to have, because of our university is asked to initiate some incubation center. So different ideas came up, and particularly we are tuned to do some type of things which were useful for the students as well as for the societal development, like being an animal scientist. I was thinking about some vermi technology, which of course it's a very known thing, but in our university it was not there. So I thought, animals, we can do this vermi technology, and then we thought of mushroom culture, and these two things, in fact, biological. Just how the things are for the engineering students,
whenever you can.
Social activities. And when I discussed with you,
webinar is going on.
Bamboo
is there.
Issue, and we can have this bamboo incubation center in our university, and immediately we had a very good long discussion and this. And that time, I think I thought we will organize a workshop or a seminar thing. When COVID situation is going, not many people can come, and physically we can have this meeting. So we thought one day online meeting we can organize. So I thought I will agree for this, and later on the day you have submitted, gave the proposal of organizing different workshops throughout the year with all the things you have made. This is really fantastic, and I never expected these many things we can do on a bamboo is a product. So I thought one can discuss on this bamboo, and how people are using it, what type of things. I didn't have much idea about all these things, but being you yourself as an expert on this subject and worked on the development of this bamboo and working in the bamboo mission. So I was fascinated with your ideas, particularly identifying the experts in the particular subject. Someone is talking about constructions, someone is talking about the jewelry, and someone is talking about food products like achar and all those things. So different type of people, I think, really fantastic at identifying. I thought if these many people are working on one single problem, one single issue is bamboo. So this is a very good journey, and I hope we are going to develop this thing and a good monograph of this entire presentations of the people, and we are going to get some write-ups from those people, and definitely I will assure you that within 1 or 2 months time, I think we can prepare this as a voluminous monograph of this entire workshop thing, and that will be useful for the people who are working, sorry, and particularly for our students. So people know about this type of thing is also working for the things. So I really congratulate you for organizing this thing and identifying the large number of people. And now I think today's program, although you are telling it's the last program, definitely you never stop this type of thing, and you can definitely call more and more seminars like this. And I welcome everybody, and I will thank all the participants who have given lectures in this long journey of seminars, webinars, what we have organized. And once again, I thank you. And definitely, university, we are going to set up a big incubation center on this particular subject. Thank you very much.
Sir, please unmute yourself, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself, sir. Sir, please.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Taking a clue from what is shared, 2 points I'd like to highlight. One is about the proceedings, a book. As an outcome of this whole series of webinars, we plan to publish a document on this, and Charu has started working on it. And secondly, we are starting one certificate and diploma course. So designs are already ready, and we are exploring the modalities, and maybe another 2-3 months we'll start a course, certificate and diploma course on bamboo applications, bamboo technology applications for all the stakeholders actually with the different models. So I'll now request Charu to share his thoughts on this. Charu has been working in bamboo sector for long. I knew that he was the only bamboo structural engineering expert, and he worked in IIT Delhi. Now he's working with IIT Bombay, and I think he is with a long journey, and he's going to continue in the bamboo sector in the years to come. So Charu, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for the kind introduction. It's indeed a wonderful journey, and all effort and compliments goes to Balaghat Bamboo Foundation for relentlessly and tirelessly working on, finding out the experts, contacting them, and then coordinating the whole sessions all along this past 1 year. And indeed, the great support that has been provided by Barkatullah University, and especially Professor Rao. Certainly, this has really helped in a way to the bamboo fraternity. And the most beautiful aspect is that with such a wide level of discussions on various topics that we had, all of that has got videographically documented. And again, due to the beauty of the resource utilization by Balaghat Bamboo Foundation, we have all of these lectures. So whoever wants to have a first-hand insight into this whole bamboo arena, they can get a one-stop introduction to the whole thing. And as Bhattacharya sir said, and Rao sir kindly supported of developing this monograph, so we are working in that direction, and we will shortly be issuing a letter of tentative draft, wherein all the experts can kindly contribute their bit and develop some extended abstracts, and we can come with a comprehensive monograph on all the topics. So indeed, it has been a great journey, and I think it was under the leadership of Bhattacharya sir that this relentless effort could see the light of this day. And certainly the whole team of Balaghat Bamboo Foundation should be appreciated for all this effort. And it was great to be a part of this whole association. and we look forward to many more such initiatives. And I extend my support for all these initiatives, both to Rao sir and Bhattacharya sir. So that's all from my end. And it's again, as always, we have some wonderful experts today. Their great contributions to this area, and overall their contributions to climate change are certainly noteworthy. And it would be indeed great to hear them with their perspective on them. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Charu. Umakat, let's proceed for the presentations. Will you please read out the profile of Dr. Pramod Kant to begin with?
Yeah, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And good afternoon to everyone, and warm welcome to today's webinar. I heartily welcome to Dr. Pramod Kant, sir, who is the today's key speaker. Dr. Pramod Kant holds a PhD in climate change and forestry, master in physics and master in forestry, and a post-graduation diploma in wildlife conservation and management, and has more than 3 decades long experience in the IFS related to forest administration and management. He led the enforcement of cities in its formative years at Chennai between 1985 to 88, and then at Mumbai from 1988 to 90. He established the first Tiger Project KMTR in Tamil Nadu, initiated the highly successful eco development program around its buffer, and made into the biggest hub for the field research in wildlife in India while leading it on two occasions. He has held several top positions in Tamil Nadu Forest Department, both in the headquarters and also as a managing director of the Tamil Nadu Tea Plantation Corporation Kunnur, which is the largest tea plantation company in the public sector in India. In 2008, Dr. Khan took retirement from the Indian Forest Service and has since been involved in writing, teaching, and capacity building in climate change adaptation policy making. Dr. Pramod Kant has written more than 50 papers on forestry and climate change related issues and has been a co-author of the number of books. So thank you so much. And now without any delay, I would like to hand over this webinar and timing to Dr. Pramod Kant, sir. Please, you can start your presentation, sir.
Thank you very much for these kind words of introduction. I am delighted to be part of these deliberations, which have run through 20 webinars, which must be kind of a record of the kind. Right. So I would request you to kindly, operate it from that side, from your side. Right. So to come back to my topic, and before that, a few words about the Balaghat Bamboo Foundation. I find that this idea of creating a foundation for bamboo is a brilliant idea, because unless you have an institution, you cannot work towards the aim, towards your ideals, towards what you think ought to happen. And in the period that this foundation has been in existence, it has done excellent work. And this particular webinar I particularly find as something very, very important. I hope they continue with this similar activities in future also. And I hope they also are able to raise necessary finances from the appropriate organization, including the Green Climate Fund. If it is a large program of this nature, Green Climate Fund should be a good source. But before that, even Kempa funds also should be available, accessible for them. I'm sure Ajay knows all these things far better than I do. He has handled these issues at the national and the state level for a long time. And I'm sure he would succeed in that. To come to bamboo and the climate change, I got my first introduction as a professional to bamboo. As bamboo, as an Indian, we all get used to seeing bamboo around us in various forms. Bamboo being used and bamboo being grown, bamboo clumps around your homes, around our homes. So that introduction is there from the very beginning. But what was uh, as a professional, the first instance of bamboo was in Tamil Nadu cadre, where at that time we were supplying bamboo to the Seshasai paper mills. And in those, that was late 1970s, early 1980s, and those were the days when the bamboo is the resource, certainly in Tamil Nadu, and also from what I had gathered near Delhi and in parts of Kerala, the resource management was not up to the mark. There was uh, some kind of a, you can say, was it because of the lack of training? I'm not very sure whether it's because of lack of training, but how we manage bamboo in or rather in entire Tamil Nadu, not just in some districts of Tamil Nadu, where station site mills are working, but also elsewhere. It used to be left to the company to come and work, and there would be occasional inspections by the forest officers, and nothing much would come out of that. The company would continue to exploit the way that they wanted to do that, and quite often used to be excessive, extremely excessive exploitation on some areas, and larger areas being left out because that would be the exploitation was governed by the excess ease, the low cost of access to the bamboo, and it was good that around the mid 80s they realized that this cannot be continued, and then things changed. Something which should never have happened did happen for the first 20 or 20, 30 years of, after independence. And good thing that attention was paid to the management of bamboo as a very important forestry crop, not as a sidey grass, as some perhaps thought at one time. This is something which is, I think, has contributed to the improvement in the bamboo situation across the country. Later, it was in the 1997 2002 that I was in the northeast, headed the northeast regional office of the state pine forest, and there I could see the bamboo around everywhere. There was hardly a place where there was not enough bamboo. The, the, the Meghalaya state, which was my headquarters, when the other state which I was covering, Mizoram particularly would appear as if there was nothing but bamboo, woolly bamboo, the monopodial woolly bamboo. And but the management of this great resource was rather poor. It largely in some state it was under the control of the local people, and who were doing that in a traditional manner, which traditional manner combined with their economic limitations, with the harvesting requires money to be invested, and either the lack of money or the lack of willingness to use money, both perhaps, were the primary cause of misuse of, or rather, lack of appropriate use of this great resource. They were and there are tens of thousands of hectares, lakhs of hectares of bamboo across, which were not being managed properly. They would burn year after year, and then grow again. Um, and some were also exploited by, again in the same manner, excesses somewhere at some places, and not at all in other places, depending upon how easy it was to access those areas. Lately, there also things have changed, are changing, and I hope with the initiatives like Balaghat Bamboo Foundation, which has brought in science and technology in this important area, things would improve still further. Can I go back to the first slide, please, now? Could you please take me to the first slide? Yeah. And now the second one. Yes, you're right. Thank you very much. This is something which I like very much. Of the people, by the people, for the people. If there's any, this is I read in the flyer of this program, and I thought this was a really very beautiful way of introducing this great resource. This is resource of the people, by the people, for the people. More than any other resource, it is this that one can think of. And I intend using, with your permission, this expression of yours elsewhere around the country when I have an occasion to speak on bamboo. It is spread over 30 billion hectares worldwide. That is the FAO figure, but actually might be much, much more than that, up to 50 million hectares, perhaps. Mostly in South, Southeast China and the Far East, but also in other continents. Extensively also in some parts of Latin America also. This is a big resource. So not as important, not as well utilized as it is in the Southeast and in China and the Far East. And an estimated 9 million people are employed in the bamboo sector. And this is actually a very small part of that. What is its potential? Perhaps 1/10 of its potential, perhaps even less than that. Next, please. It has great climate change mitigation potential. The climate change mitigation potential through the sequestration of atmospheric CO2. This is nothing but carbon dioxide sequestered, as all vegetation is essentially. And then sequestered in this over the 35 million hectares or 50 million hectares, whichever figure that you choose to take, and then available for harvesting every year. A large part of that can be harvested, and then the harvested area, the harvested products can be utilized in bamboo products. There are all kinds of bamboo products which have the previous speakers who introduced the subject spoke about. And as long as the bamboo products remain products in the utilization, the bamboo, the CO2 carbon dioxide layer remains stored away from the atmosphere and continues to contribute to mitigation of climate change. It's a great tool of adaptation to climate change because as a grass, as a sensitive grass, it responds to the warming climate much sooner, much quicker. It has greater flexibility, a flexibility that is reflected in its the way it handles itself in wind, against storm, against excess of anything, or against lack of anything. That same thing is its greatest tool adaptation to climate change. And when a major resource is able to adapt to the changing climate, that means that the people who are dependent upon this resource can also adapt with ease to the changing climate. And therefore, it's a great tool adaptation in the process. I consider this one of the best tools, perhaps the best tool adaptation to the changing climate in the forestry sector. Grows much faster than trees, or it appears to grow, but as I will discuss very soon, the forest grows only as fast as taken over a longer time run, as fast growing plantation of bamboo and its products can store 306 tons of carbon, 306 tons of carbon over a 60-year period, compared with 178 tons of per tree. That is one experiment, but there are also other gains which we will examine soon.
Ankit,
Next, please. A study has been reported by IFAR in which they compared the carbon sequestration between Moso bamboo, a monopodial in China, and Chinese fir plantation in Southeast China. Phyllostakis pubescens plantation, Moso bamboo plantation, has a density of 3,300 tons per hectare, and Chinese fir plantation has a density of 2,175 trees per hectare at a time of planting. They have comparable features regarding their rapid growth rates and climatic requirements. They can be comparable. The annual net carbon storage for a fully afforested moto carbon plantation showed a peak of 5.5 tons of carbon per hectare respectively. And bamboo sequestered more carbon than the Chinese fir in the first 5 years, but less in the next 5 years. So, under regular management practices, which includes land and soil management, combined with common harvesting routines. In the case of bamboo, you require soil management because there is a every year there is harvesting, so nutrients are taken away from the land, and therefore there needs to be replacement. Either the natural replacement enhanced by the mulching and such, or by addition, uh, which is not a requirement, of course, in the case of the fast-growing species like Chinese. Uh, there, you do that in the beginning, and then there is no further addition of nutrition in the soil. The study found that Moso bamboo plantations sequestered an equal or greater amount of carbon than the Chinese fir plantation within the latter's first 30 years rotation as well as the second 30 years rotation. So this was the finding reported by IFAR. Next, please. This shows uh, the pictorial, the graphical representation of this. On the right hand, on the x-axis is the year, the time, and on the y uh, the carbon accumulation over 1 year. And this is the case of the bamboo, because bamboo is harvested year after year. This includes the bamboo harvested and stored in products. Next, please. Similar comparison was done with eucalyptus compared to sympodial ma bamboo. Ma bamboo is Dendrocalamus species found in southern China, and here also there was the performance in the carbon sequestration was kind of comparable. Under regular management practices with annual harvesting for the bamboo, the eucalyptus plantation outperformed the bamboo in the first 5 years until it was cut to be replaced by a new eucalyptus plantation, SMSP. In the second 5 years, the Ma bamboo, Dendrocalamus species, uh, sympodial, started to outperform the eucalyptus plantation. So the results indicate sympodial bamboo in the tropics is likely to sequester equal or more carbon than eucalyptus plantation. Basically equal, and more, only slightly more on a longer run. Next, please. Next, yeah, thank you very much. So again, in IFAR's finding, sequestering carbon. The carbon stored in Chinese bamboo forest is projected to increase from 727 million tons in 2010 to 1 lakh 1,000 billion tons in 2050. So, in their calculation of their uh, of their of the zero carbon emission, bamboo plays an insignificant role there in case of China. I tried to get these figures for India, but I was not able to get it. Maybe Ajay or somebody else here, GV, might be in a position to clarify on this. What is the amount of carbon stored in Chinese Indian bamboo forest? And also in other countries like Myanmar, like Thailand, like Laos, whichever country that is available for. Then one more important thing for bamboo, it can also replace fossil fuels directly because this is a uh, resource which offers a highly renewable resource of which is a highly renewable source of biomass energy. A community of 250 households requires only 180 kilograms, just about 2 tons of dry bamboo to generate sufficient electricity for 6 hours, assuming that that is what they use for lighting at least. So for lighting about 6 hours of in a day, so for lighting at least this is what is available for 250 households just from 2 tons, less than 2 tons of dry bamboo. Now, if fans are to be used, then of course uh, this would require you can double it, and for longer duration, then accordingly you can also use the same figure for making the assessment of what would be required for the 24 hours of household consumption. For 100 household basis, you can kind of make a projection. An important thing is bamboos can be grown on marginal lands and does not need to compete with agriculturally productive areas. And therefore, from compared to other crops, agricultural crops, which can also give you uh, the energy, is, compared to that, this is much more useful in that sense. Next, please. Adaptation. I referred to that earlier. I consider bamboos are basically the flexibility in the bamboo. Bamboos are not too flexible, and that flexibility I think is reflected in its overall character in adapting to the climate change, changing climate. It allows frequent harvesting. Therefore, when something is harvested frequently, the farmers are there close by or attend to it every year, and they can change their harvesting practices or management practices accordingly. Unlike in trees where you plant and then you leave and come back only after 10 years or after several years for getting that supply in case you take a certain thing. Here, every year one has to come at least, perhaps more often, because you also get other products from the bamboo, and the farmers keep coming to the bamboo again and again. I would say at least once or so in a month, and that also enables them to uh, respond to the heat, to the lack of rains, or to the more rains caused by the changing climate. And this is also useful for restoring degraded lands, highs of column soils, and the steep slopes that are unsuitable for other crops, and is an effective replace. We study rhizomes and roots, regulate water flows, and prevent erosion. All these are very important adaptation tools. There's an example which Inbar quotes of rebuilding of rural livelihoods of 80,000 hectares of degraded land using bamboo as a pioneer species. So bamboo as a pioneer species used for uh, reclaiming 80,000 hectares of degraded lands. And I'm not able to get the detailed report on this, and I'm sure some of the learned speakers here, the participants here would know more about it. This is an important issue. Next, please. Uh, the Inbag sites it makes a case for uh, planting bamboo or additional 15, 20, 30 million hectares, and says that if additional 15 million hectares is planted on degraded lands and utilized optimally using modern technology, it could save, which means optimized uh, for long-term storage, for replacing steel and aluminium, and thereby storing the carbon away from the atmosphere for a long time. Then it can save up to 7 gigatons of carbon dioxide within 30 years. This additional 15 million hectares of degraded lands alone. And this is more than what 300 million, 30 crore new electric car से जो कुछ बचेगा उससे ज्यादा इससे बच जाएगा in terms of mitigation. This would have a greater mitigation value than what 30 crore new electric cars would make. Next, please. The problem is whether so much carbon is of course sequestered and stored, but can it also be turned into carbon credits? Can small farmers really get carbon credits from this? This requires that the for the small farmers, it's important that the transaction cost must be very low, and they should not be any difficulty in getting their projects approved by the appropriate authorities. And the measurement reporting and verification parts of the methodologies are easy enough within their reach. So the Zhejiang Agriculture and Forestry University in China and in Bar, they have developed a methodology to make it easy for farmers and enterprises to receive carbon credits for planting bamboo. And the Chinese NDRC, National Development and Reform Commission, which is something similar to our own planning body, NITI Aayog, has recognized that as a key energy saving and low carbon technology. This methodology which they have developed. In Zhejiang alone, some 27,000 hectares of recently planted bamboo forest have produced 5.4 million certified carbon credits so far. And the new afforestation projects in bamboo are getting off ground in Hubei and Fujian province, central and southern China. It's important to ensure that the demand is there for bamboo. In continuous demand is there because if the bamboo prices get depressed, the farmers are not going to plant bamboo. That is the only hope of having more and more areas of bamboo for the farmers to go for it on their own, to be eager to go for planting bamboo. And for that, the industrial demand for bamboo must increase. The European industrial bamboo products for cladding, flooring, and beams are being used for replacement for steel and cement. That is where the largest use of bamboo can be, besides other uses, of course. China has already built a booming industry out of bamboo. Engineered bamboo, processed to create a uniform straight edge material, is used to make everything from flooring to railway sleepers and manhole covers. You can think of that everything, perhaps everything is being made from this. And if we have the manhole covers being made from bamboo, I'm sure they would not be stolen as often as they are being stolen now. Next, please. New opportunities are opening up for engineered bamboo products for new heavy duty application to substitute high carbon abiotic alternatives. Materials strong enough to build strong engineered pipes and shock resistant exteriors for bullet train carriages. Bullet train carriages also, the exteriors for that are being made of bamboo. These durable products are critical to realizing bamboo's carbon storage potential because only when it has extensive use of this nature, when it basically replaces steel and more than steel, aluminium from the high-end products of this nature, which has a very high carbon value, carbon emission value. So those carbon emission values can be utilized only when the low or rather negative carbon emission value or carbon storage value, high carbon storage value are coming from bamboo are utilized in place of these. Next, please. A little bit of the life cycle carbon footprints of common building materials. Dented bamboo. No, these are the commonly used words for this bamboo. Using 850 kilogram of bamboo per cube. It has a life cycle carbon footprint of minus 613 kilogram of CO2 equivalent per cube. Strand woven bamboo using 100 kilogram of bamboo per kilometer. Indoor use 484 kilogram of CO2 equivalent minus 480 minus 480. And outdoor use because there is more quicker decay, it is minus 141. Not as good as in the case of indoor, but it's still minus. Plywood bamboo, bamboo plywood or ply bamboo using 700 kilogram bamboo per cube. This has minus 220 kilogram CO2 equivalent per cube. This is generally better than European softwood, which is 334. Several softwood species used in Europe, ash and poplars and such. Minus 324. Meranti plantation in Philippines. This is Shodia of Philippines, and this even this plantation has +4. So it is good, but it is still there is +4 because certain cost, the emissions in the harvesting and the transportation, etc., are high enough, which basically uh, negate the carbon sequestration value to that high. RCC, of course, it understands +554 kilogram of CO2 plus, as we can understand. Menanti, the same Shoria species from Philippines. Natural forest, there it is +2077. It is +2077 plus here, such a high figure because in these forests, the exploitation for energy is spent in exploitation. Because these are, selection felling has to be done. Then from the forest area, hilly area, it has to be carried, and that carriage, etc., has emission values, and that is why it is so high. PVC is, as we can understand, +2904. Steel is 14,400 plus aluminium above all plus 32,423 kilograms CO2 equivalent per cubic meter. So you can understand instead of aluminum 32,423, if we use strand woven bamboo, very good product from there, or plywood, ply bamboo, there could be so much of gain in terms of the carbon sequestration, carbon not emitted, carbon not emitted. Next, please. LC condition. This is basically this is an experimental measure, and it is these figures are specific production chain of industrial bamboo products. So the company also internationally dealing for like best practices, and it is not typical. So other places may be higher. This is you have to take it only as a kind of a best practices followed, and this is what can happen. and this is over the life cycle. That breaks through carbon sequestration and energy production in the end of life goals in a elliptic form that outweigh the emissions caused by production and transport. Next, please. For end of life, it is assumed that 90% of the bamboo products are incinerated in an electrical power plant at the end of the life, and 10% at the end of life landfill, will end up in landfill, which is a realistic scenario for Western Europe. This is the book which has from where it has been taken, Environmental Impact of Industrial Bamboo Products, Life Cycle Assessment and Carbon Sequestration by Wok Lander and Wander Lucht. This is a INBAR publication. Next, please. Thank you very much. So this is what I have to say, and I would be very glad to take questions at the end of this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was wonderful. It was excellent insight to bamboo climate change interface, substantiated by many good case studies and statistics. So we'll take questions after all these speakers have spoken, and you can take down. The participants may kindly take note their queries or opinions in the chat box. So may I request Umakant to read the profile of Dr. Durai uh, for the next deliberation.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. And I heartily welcome to Dr. J. Durai, sir, who is the second key speaker of today's webinar. Mr. J. Durai is currently working as the Director of Global Program at the International Bamboo and Rattan Organization, INBAR. Currently based in the Beijing, China, for over 15 years, Durai has helped to design and manage large-scale bamboo-based livelihood development programs across Cambodia, India, and a number of countries in Eastern and Southern Africa. Durai sir has extensive knowledge and expertise in bamboo-based livelihood and environmental development, capacity building, partnership development, investment promotion, and fundraising. He holds two master degrees in social work from Madras University, India, and environmental science and policy from Clark University, the USA. So thank you so much. And now, without any delay, I would like to hand over this webinar and timing to Dr. J. Durai sir. Sir, please you can start your presentation. Thank you so much.
Many thanks to Umakant and many thanks to Mr. Bhattacharjee for inviting me for the seminar, and many thanks to the previous speaker, Mr. Kant. I think he has made my work like Celia. So my presentation is on the bamboo and climate change, that's the mitigation aspect. To introduce the organization, INBAR, National Intergovernmental Organization with some 38 member states. It has 5 regional offices in Cameroon, Ecuador, Ethiopia, Ghana, and India, and it's some secretariat is based in China. General overview of the bamboo. As per the current research, we have 1,632 species of bamboo, and the 35 million hectares as per the FAO and RSA resource assessment. As pointed out by our previous speaker, the area would be more than 1 million hectares or so. The global internal production and consumption is more than $70 billion as of now. And the international trade is about $3 billion. Climate change, as you know, is the buildup of the greenhouse gases, mainly the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The past 100 years, increase in the surface temperature has been about 1.5 degrees centigrade, but it has gone the speed has increased since 1980, but because the carbon emission has been high. And all of us can predict the impact of the climate change, but because all of us are observing it today. So the new concept has came up, the carbon neutrality, where the world countries, organizations like companies, businesses, product aim for the carbon neutrality. So it means the amount of carbon emission is equal to the amount of carbon absorption. How we can do it with like how we can like mitigate the climate change, how we can reduce the carbon emission like that. We can do it in two ways. So one way is to sequester the carbon in form of a plant as a growing plant, and also in form of the product. We block the carbon out the carbon. As you know,
Your slides are not moving.
if my slides are not moving, then it might be the problem with is the slides moving now?
No, you can do it from the left side. Left move from left side boxes.
Of course, I can do it, but I don't know why it's not like moving.
Yeah, now it's moving. And now it moved.
Okay,
Can
so
they
I
stop?
stopped it. I stopped it again. So that so is it like invisible, sir?
Yeah. Now it's moving.
Okay. So we all know that bamboo is not a tree. So it is a grass, or it is a system where it is growing from the rhizome, so we can harvest it annually. As Dr. Kant have said, um, if we harvest it annually, or if we like manage the bamboo sustainably, it can sequester like much more carbon in comparison with the fast growing tree species. The Chinese fir and eucalyptus, I suppose. If we don't like manage it, bamboo accumulates carbon in the growing period, like which is from year 1 to 7 or 8, and then it becomes carbon neutral. So it requires annual harvesting. It requires the bamboo which are like mature to be harvested. There are two carbon neutrality pathways in like bamboo.
Again, it's not moving.
Yeah, I think I used the slide, but I don't know why. It's not like that.
I have to say, now it's moving. Yeah.
Okay. Fine. There are two carbon neutrality pathways. So one is storing the carbon in the product, and the second is to by the sustainable life management pathway. I don't want to go into detail as our previous speakers have gone into that. So the carbon storage in the bamboo forest, it is in three forms: the above ground, the below ground, and the soil organic carbon. On average, the bamboo forests store the carbon in the range of 94 to 392 tons of carbon per hectare. It depends upon the species, but the average for the most species range from 94 to 392 tons of carbon per hectare. It has a higher carbon sequestration rate compared to other trees. In like a well-managed forest of like bamboo, it can sequester up to 25 tons of carbon per hectare per year. This slide shows the general comparison of the carbon sequestration of like bamboo forest, the tree plantation, as well as the forest. If you see here, bamboo's carbon sequestration is in the similar range of the tree plantation. but it is low compared to the natural forest. This is like based upon their analysis of above ground, below ground, and soil organic carbon. If you see the species-specific carbon accumulation rate, in general, the bamboo's carbon accumulation ranges from 2.5 tons per hectare to 25 tons per hectare. Again, I am saying it depends upon how we manage it. If you don't manage it, it will be about 2.5 tons of carbon per hectare. If you manage it well, it can be on the higher range. The Moso bamboo, we generally call it like the hydrostatic percent or like hydrostatic. Ideal is the above ground carbon sequestration per year per hectare is like 5.1. The Godu angustifolia from Latin America is about 10 tons. The bambusa bamboos 24, bambusa oldhami like some 16. The Phyllostachys bambusa is you can see from here, sympodial bamboo has higher biomass carbon accumulation and higher growth compared to the monopodial bamboos, which grows in the cooler climate. When it compared, then we come to the climate change mitigation potential in the form of products. We can estimate that around the 40% of biomass can be converted into a value-added product which can store carbon for 30, 40, or like some 50 years. His study was already shown by Dr. Tom, so I don't want to go through it again. If you see the flattened bamboo, the sandwiched bamboo board, or like bamboo product, it has been negative carbon footprint. And if you see the conventional materials like steel, aluminum, concrete, like PVC, it has higher carbon emission. And if you see the bamboo product, including the carbon emission in production and LCA, it is on the carbon sequestration side. So it is highly beneficial for the climate change mitigation. As like bamboo construction material, it can replace the hardwood and high energy materials as we have shown like before. The construction materials, steel, concrete, PVC, so it can be done. Housing and infrastructure, bamboo has a higher role to play. You can produce n number of products, 10,000 augmented product and applications from clothes, plastic composites, PVCs, any product which you want to say that first like that. If you see the carbon emission reduction for the production of durable product, you can see from the slide here, in the case of the total carbon sequestration and carbon emission per hectare, in the case of the Phyllostachys bamboo, it would be around 340 tons of carbon. If you want to convert it to carbon dioxide, you like multiply it with 3.67. So it would be around like 1,500 tons of carbon per hectare. This is what you can like sequester from like bamboo forest if you are converting bamboo into a durable product which can harm the carbon. Energy, as you all know, the global emission around like some 60% of the carbon is emitted from the energy to the solid liquid and gaseous fuel. You can convert bamboo into solid liquid and gaseous fuel, so it has a huge like potential. This is an analysis of Wilbar, the carbon emission to conversion energy product from another species in Latin American countries. It can sequester up to 300 tons of carbon in their whole height. So many plastic alternatives, plastic products can be left possible. So it is not only contributing to climate change acidification, but also to plastic pollution. This slide was already illustrated by Dr. Khan, so I don't want to go through that. Important point what I can make here is we have to choose the right species for our right agroclimatic condition, and we choose the species for the product what we are aiming to produce from it. If we choose these two things right, the growth of the bamboo plantation in the country, the adoption of the bamboo plantation by the farmer will go tremendously. At the end of the day, economics will speak louder than the other factors present that we speak about. Um, so large, many thanks to the organizer and many thanks to all the participant parties. So many thanks to our. Mr. Gomakant, the
Yeah,
floor is
thank you so
yours.
thank you so much, sir. It was nice, wonderful presentation, sir.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Dr. Dorai, for your latest and efficient analysis of the potential of carbon climate change of bamboo. And so he has to leave. Actually, Durai has to leave. So anyone a quick query from Durai? Any question for Dr. Durai? But he has to leave. Otherwise, you can jot down your query in the chat box. And you have email ID of Dr. Durai also. He'll be in touch with us immediately if any question is there. So he'll be happy to share reply. Okay, so we proceed further to our next speaker, learned speaker, Dr. J.V. Sharma from TERI. So I'll request Umakant to read out his profile, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. And I heartily welcome to Dr. J.V. Sharma, sir, who is the today's key speaker. A serving Indian Forest Officer, Dr. J.V. Sharma has nearly 34-year experience of overall coordination and management of projects and activities in the forestry sector. He has recently conducted 2-month-long mid-career training program for the senior Indian Forest Service officer covering various aspects of the many mainstream and cross-cutting issues of forestry. He has also worked on the various projects related to economic valuation of forest ecosystem, change in the forest governance, carbon financing, and enhancing livelihood of forest communities. Presently on deputation to TERI, he is involved in guiding the research and development work in the forestry biodiversity area, which consists of a multidisciplinary professional team of researchers. Also involved in monitoring research, consultancies, and extension activities. He is a faculty also in the Natural Resource Management Department of the TERI University and guiding 5 PhD students on forest governance, climate change, and natural resources economics. So thank you so much. And now, without any delay, I would like to hand over this webinar and timing to Dr. J.V. Sharma, sir. Sir, please, you can start your presentation.
Thank you, Amarkant. Thank you, Dr. Bhattacharya, for providing an opportunity to share my thoughts and views. And also, I give thanks to Pramod Khan sir and Mr. Durai for providing some extensive view of how the bamboo and the climate change mitigation, and also to some extent the adaptation aspect. Here, I got a clue from the Pramod Kansal presentation that each and every farmer or the bamboo grower must be benefited with the carbon finance, but the transaction cost is too high and the process and methodologies are complex, so it won't be possible for the individual bamboo grower or the farmer to prepare a project and to get the benefit of the carbon finance. But we are implementing 10 projects of the carbon finance at present under the agroforestry as well as for eco development committees to provide carbon finance benefits to the individual farmers as well as the communities. So I will give you the example, and we have developed a business model that farmers need not to spend a penny, government sector need not to spend a penny, and we will prepare the project on behalf of the farmers. We prepare the project, rather we will prepare the project on behalf of the farmers, and the benefit, we assure the benefit of the one carbon credit is minimum $6 per ton of the carbon dioxide or the per credit. So we are implementing and implemented project in the 6 districts of the Punjab: Hoshiarpur, Roopnagar, Nawashahar, SAS Nagar, and Daswa Forest Division. So project document has already been approved, validated. We have prepared the monitoring report. Monitoring report is under verification nowadays. Maybe in 15-20 days it will be verified, and you will be surprised to know that for the first cycle we are 15 lakh, 1.5 million credits to the 4,200 farmers. And we have developed an institution that conservator of forest is the project proponent, and we have developed the institutional mechanism in such a way that farmers are involved in the decision making at each level of the carbon finance management committee, and the conservator forest with a click of mouse will pass on the benefits in form of the finance, in form of the money to the directly to the account of the individual farmers. So maybe 2 months later or 2.5 months later, we will be able to pass on the money to the accounts of the farmers. Why can't we do? We have done it for the Eucalyptus poplar and Melia dubium. 3 species, 90% these 3 species, and this is the first cycle payment. And second cycle will be after 2 years because it is a short rotation crops largely. And we have prepared the project of the 34 years. So, but at present crop we can get only 2 cycles, and later on if farmers are interested and getting planted again, so that can be received the carbon credits and the finance later on also. We are implementing carbon finance project in 22 districts of the Uttar Pradesh, and 4 circles: Moradabad, Saharanpur, Lucknow, and Meerut. These agroforestry, intensive agroforestry is there in these areas, 22 districts. We are preparing 4 projects, and again the project proponents are the conservator of forest, and we are also using the same kind of the institutional mechanism over here. And we have implemented, or rather implementing carbon finance project in the agroforestry done in the state of Gujarat. We have taken 5 districts and 10,000 farmers, and the projects of the 4 projects as a conservative forest as a project proponent has already been listed, approved, validated, and in the first week of April we are proceeding for the preparation of the data collection for the preparation of the monitoring report. and these are the scenario that how we can and recently ITC Bhadrachalam has requested, they have planted lot many tree species through farmers, so that we are going to initiate same kind of the project for the ITC Bhadrachalam as a project proponent, where the 50% benefit will go to the ITC Bhadrachalam and 50% benefit of the carbon finance will go to the farmers, because this is arrangement between farmers and the ITC Bhadrachalam, and since plantation cost has been borne by the ITC Bhadrachalam, so that kind of arrangement between farmers and Bhadrachalam, so that we will be helping them. And in all agroforestry projects, the minimum rate of the carbon credit is $6. This is the minimum rate. Maximum maybe 7 or 7.5 or maybe 8, but minimum $6 is to be provided under these projects. We are also implementing 6 tiger project in carbon finance project in 6 tiger reserves. So the different methodology has been used. These are the RDD mechanism, and Dudhwa Tiger Reserve project document has already been prepared and submitted under process of the listing. Other tiger reserve projects are under process of preparation. So these tiger reserves are Dudhwa Tiger Reserve, Pest Tiger Reserve, Maharashtra, Sundarban in West Bengal, Periyar in Kerala, Kaziranga and Manas in Assam. So here I like to mention and like to give emphasis and request Dr. Bhattacharya that if you have a 5,000 hectare plantation, maybe accumulated plantation of the 100 farmers, 200 farmers, even 1,000, 5,000 farmers, so that project can be prepared in the name of the Balaghat Tiger Foundation, and no cost to the Balaghat Tiger Foundation, to the Balaghat Bamboo Foundation, and no cost to the bamboo growers. And again, $5 to $6 per credit will be assured in form of the MOU, and the mechanism is such that we are signing a MOU between the state government, means conservator forest, dairy, and the investor who will be the transacting, and he has the buyback guarantee from the different big corporates in states and big corporates in other European countries, so that there is no dearth of the buyer and the purchaser of the credit, so that that is there. So as far as bamboo is concerned, Dr. Pramod Kansab has also mentioned that transaction cost will be should be less and process will be easy for the farmers, so that whatever the process is as on today, no problem for that, and we will assist with and we will and no cost to the bamboo grower or the farmer or bamboo foundation the project, but only condition is that at least 3.5 lakh emission reduction certificates, means credits must be generated per year. So without that, project will not be economically viable. So that is why I am saying between 5 to 10,000, any figure will be economically viable. And if you have farmers, so that we are ready, we offer our services to assist and help the farmers for obtaining carbon finance. And another thing I am mentioning over here, we will not keep waiting farmers for too long and from the signing of the MOU, the first transaction will be done within 24 months, and 24 months, so that trust building will also be there. Otherwise, we ask the farmers to keep on waiting for the 5 years, 6 years. So that is not a scenario. That is not a condition. So, so that is why I have not. I decided not to make presentation through slides to share my views, experience, and thoughts. and how we can assist and help the farmers. If any question in this regard, we are hands-on doing all projects. We know ins and out of the projects, so that will not be feeling shy to reply and question. But if this webinar could have been after 2 months, so we could very confidently said that these 15 lakh, 1.5 million credits have been issued and transacted for the 4,200 farmers of the Punjab. So this verification process nowadays is on. Maybe 15, 20 days the verifier will verify, and then within a month or so the credits will be issued. And then another month or so the credits will be transacted. So transaction will not be delayed, not be taking much of the time, because buyer is there. Our investor has already have the buyback guarantee from the very big. I'm not taking the name of the companies, but very big company of the global big companies. They are offsetting their emissions, and they have adopted the policy of the carbon neutrality. So that in this regard, I have shared my hands-on experience. If any question, any clarification, I'm here to reply that. And I'm not explaining much of the carbon finance projects for the tiger reserves, because it is not applicable in case of the bamboo. In case of the bamboo, the agroforestry mechanism is applicable. So that is why I am explaining much of the agroforestry projects. Our hands-on experience in this regard. Kind of assured rate $6 per credit. That is a minimum. Maximum will be 7, 7.5, or 8. So that I am mentioning over here. This is a real-time projects. They are not. I am not taken any line or any figure from any of the research paper or the secondary literature. This is the facts and factual figures, and that is a part of the project document. That is a part of the audit report. So with these words, I stop here, and I will be happy to take any kind of question in this regard. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Jayali. It was wonderful, a very valuable information regarding carbon credit modality and mechanism for, especially for farmers. So I just would like to be educated regarding one issue. You said 5,000 to 10,000 hectares. So can it be converted into number of clumps? Because many areas.
Yes, 1 crore.
1 crore clumps.
Yes.
1 crore bamboo clumps. Okay. So we'll certainly take it forward. We are working with.
Maybe owned by 10,000 farmers, no problem.
Okay. We are working with bamboo producers, bamboo growers, small farmers, and also private people. So we'll certainly take it forward. Here I'll request Dr. Rao also, the Vice Chancellor University, to coordinate to take up a project with TERI regarding this carbon credit.
And Dr. Bhattacharya, we will not be charging any cost from you.
Okay, excellent.
That is a win-win situation. There is a win-win situation for the farmers, and for the university. University can be the project proponent, or I suggest the Balaghat Bamboo Foundation will be the project proponent.
Okay, excellent. So we'll certainly take it forward. And for Balaghat, there is a tremendous potential, and I request Dr. Rao to be involved in that. Also, I'll request JV, if you can share one page which I can share the State Bamboo Mission. So you are working with the State Bamboo Mission, so I can invite them, and I can.
What we can do with Dr. Bhattacharya, you can have a meeting. We can do 1 hour online meeting with them, and we'll make a presentation, and then we can take up the question answer. Because in one page, one page note, they will not be able to understand. So it is better to have a one online meeting.
Not for understanding. We have the webinar interaction. It is just to initiate the process. That's what we will do this with the intervention of Terry and the guidance of Terry and Javi Sharma. We want to take up this project just for that purpose. Certainly, we need to have a meeting.
And again, one thing I like to mention that we are also not doing a charity. Investor is investing to finance. So investor has the buyback guarantee already. He might be looking some kind of the business out of it. So maybe it is he's a business entrepreneur, and they are investing money first, and then they will take advantage of that afterwards.
Sure. I got it. It has to be a business model.
Yeah,
it has to be a business model and a win-win situation.
For all.
It cannot be a charity. I agree with you. So, any further queries from anybody? Any points? Any question? Any opinion from anybody? It was a very fruitful discussion, especially with respect to Umakant. Just to
Yes, sir.
take it forward. You got it, Umakant?
Yes, sir.
We are preparing the inventory of growers, farmers,
Yes,
and
sir.
these artisans and entrepreneurs. So, with the help of Terry, we can take it forward as a government credit project as well. So that
Yes.
the local farmers can benefit through our initiative.
Okay, sir.
Any query? Any query for any speaker? Yeah, ST Lepcha has some words of appreciation for you, Javi. He was quite impressed with the idea of carbon credit benefits to the farmers. So thank you, Lepcha, for your involvement. And Dr. Rao is there? I can see some other.
And for the benefit of Lepcha, and we are also preparing a carbon finance project for 25 one panchayats in Ranikhet Soil Conservation Division and the Nainital Soil Conservation Division. These are the two divisions, two project components, and in which by December 23, they will be getting around, because project document has already been prepared. Monitoring report, we have almost analyzing the data and preparing around 5 lakh credits in the month of by December 2023 they will also be getting. So this is a project of the Uttarakhand state.
Thank you.
I forgot to mention it.
Yeah, thank you. So can you elaborate slightly on rate?
Yeah, actually, red. I need not to explain the definition of red, but in which we are focusing on two aspects. How much fuel wood is being extracted in the past. We are doing the historical analysis, and we are collecting, doing primary survey. And right now, because in 20 or 21 at present, we are preparing a baseline for the past 3 to 4 years, so that we are using the recall method, and so two kind of data, and we are collecting, and how much fuel wood is being, and after July, and the different departments or even people have started using gases. So how much emissions we are avoiding. So first we are getting the credits of the avoidance largely in the case of the red project.
Okay, thank you.
But another thing I would like to mention that business as usual is not eligible. We have to prove in the project document that it is because of the additionality to mitigate the climate change. And many activities are being done by the state forest department on regular schemes, and those aspects have not been eligible for the, because we have to prove the additionality, and additionality aspect has to be as per the whichever the site we are using for the uploading the in the project. So their methodology only. So it is a game of the words. Otherwise, we are implementing the activities and same activities we are including under the red projects and few projects have already been listed with this approach. Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
Just
Jeremy.
one question.
मतलब पूछो lecture.
So, in the hills also same formula applies. 1
मैं
crore,
hills की बात कर रहा हूँ ना. मैं
1
तो
crore clubs.
no.
Economics will be different.
No. This is not for the red. This is for the plantations.
Yeah, for the plantation in the hills also the formula.
I have requested PCC of Uttarakhand, but I am sorry to say that they are our colleague that forest officers are not interested in this kind of project. So UP is taken up very largely, and in UP the credits of the first cycle will be around 1 crore 80 lakh in 22 districts under the agroforestry. This is a plantation. ये 1 crore का हम बता रहे हैं plantation जो farmers करते हैं उनकी संख्या. Not in the hills red में there is no limitation how much plantation activities are not there in the red projects largely. Assisting national regeneration activities, livelihood activities, with reducing dependence on the forest. These activities are there under the red.
So different formulas.
But rates are also different under the avoidance credits. Avoidance credits are low price, around $4 we are assuring them under the red projects.
So
And then you will ask question why the agroforestry credits are more valuable, because you will be achieving 3-4 sustainable development goals along with the climate change mitigation. So that whosoever will be purchasing that he will also be mentioning in the policy document that I am contributing to mitigate climate change as well as contributing for the achieving sustainable development goals also.
Okay, just one question: who is the nodal for Nainital and?
Nainital में DFO Nainital, DFO Soil Nainital and DFO Soil Ranikhet. These are the two project proponents.
Okay.
But nodal is Anup Malik.
Oh.
Nodal is he initiated the and we won the competitive bid and we are implementing.
Okay.
And this is not a charity. This is free of cost. But we offer for the one panchayat also without charging anything we can take up many projects.
So if one panchayat agrees, then it will be free of cost.
Yes. But
I will convey to Jyotsna.
No, but Jyotsna से मैंने बात की थी. Jyotsna भी कुछ नहीं कर पाई. वो उत्तराखंड के ऑफिसर्स इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं लेते किसी का. And I am very frank to say.
After the departure of lecture.
फिर एक ही काम में इंटरेस्ट लेते हैं वो लोग. समझ गए वो क्या काम है. Openly I am saying here.
अच्छा, Anil, you are there? Bamburam, Anil? Can you hear me? Anil? Bamburam, Anil. I can see your name in the list. Can you hear me? Anil?
Jeremy Sharma sir, I have one question for you.
हाँ, sure. उसको पूछिए जी.
Charu here.
हाँ.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Sir, as you mentioned that over here mostly the fuel grade offset is being given. Then what about the utilization of bamboo in other sectors like construction or projects like biofuel?
नहीं, मैं बैम्बू का एक्सपर्ट नहीं हूँ. मैंने तो एक उसको कॉमन करके दिया था कि बैम्बू को हम कार्बन फाइनेंस प्रोजेक्ट्स कैसे कर सकते हैं. अगर आप बैम्बू को कंस्ट्रक्शन वगैरह में तो भट्टाचार्य साहब बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपर्ट है उसके, तो वो आपको बता देंगे. अगर आपको कार्बन फाइनेंस और जो मैंने सब्जेक्ट पे बोला है उसमें अगर कोई क्वेश्चन हो तो आप मेरे से पूछिए.
सर नमस्कार, मैं अनिल मालविया बोल रहा हूँ बेंबुरम से. वो नेट में प्रॉब्लम है.
अच्छा, मैं ये बताना चाह रहा था अनिल, आपने देर से ज्वाइन किया. जो आप 5 लगवा रहे हैं व्यापक स्तर पे किसानों से. अभी डॉक्टर जेवी शर्मा जो डेयरी के हैं वो इस बात पे चर्चा कर रहे थे किस तरह से बांस जो किसान बांस लगा रहे हैं या किसानों से अपन बांस लगवा रहे हैं, उनको कार्बन क्रेडिट का फायदा किस तरह से करवाया जा सकता है। जैसे अगर हमने 1-2 हजार लोगों ने 10,000 किसानों ने लगाया और उनको उनका कोई खर्चा नहीं आएगा और कार्बन क्रेडिट का जो उनको फायदा मिलेगा $5 से लेकर $60, तो इसको भी आप थोड़ा और समझ लें, और अगर कोई आपको इस संबंध में कुछ क्वेरी हो तो बताएं, इसको हम लोग आगे ले जाएंगे। ठीक है
सर, मैंने अभी पता करवाया था, तो ये बता रहे हैं कि कार्बन क्रेडिट इंडिया में बहुत है, परंतु वो बिक नहीं रहा है। क्या ऐसा है?
ये आपकी गलतफहमी है। जितने हैं आपके पास क्रेडिट लाइए, हम बिकवा देते हैं, $10 पे बिकवा देते हैं। कितने क्रेडिट है आपके पास?
नहीं सर, जैसे कि पर एकड़ का जैसे अपन लगवाते हैं
इंडिया में किसके पास क्रेडिट है, जरा वो मुझे बताइए।
नहीं एक्चुअल में क्या हुआ कि मैंने दिल्ली में मेरे जितने भी हैं परिचित, उनसे पूछवाया था, तो वो बोल रहे थे कि
किसको जानकारी, किसको मालूम है, किससे पूछवाया?
जानकारी नहीं, जानकारी नहीं होगी।
जानकारी नहीं होगी, इसलिए तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि जानकारी नहीं है। और यहाँ पे इस फोरम में जितने बैठे हैं, सबसे ज्यादा जानकारी, मुझसे भी ज्यादा जानकारी प्रमोद खान साहब को, हमने उन्हीं से सीखा है।
नहीं समझ गया ना, ये जो चल रहा था ऐसा था कि उतना ज्यादा क्रेडिट नहीं मिल पा रहा था। वो समय समय पे क्या मार्केट की स्थिति रहती है जनरल, इसमें कार्बन क्रेडिट के मार्केट
मैं बता रहा हूँ अब क्यों मार्केट डेवलप हुआ है, इंडिया में भी डेवलप हुआ है।
वही बोल रहा था,
वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ। जब पेरिस एग्रीमेंट हुआ, तो पेरिस एग्रीमेंट ग्लासगो COP26 हुई, तो उसमें बहुत ज्यादा ये एग्री हुआ कि नॉट ओनली नेशनल गवर्नमेंट उसको मिटिगेट कर पाएंगे क्लाइमेट चेंज को, टू रेस्ट्रिक्ट टेम्परेचर विद इन 2 डिग्री, तो प्राइवेट एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को बहुत उसमें आगे आना पड़ेगा। देन प्राइवेट एंटरप्रेन्योर ऑफ द यूएस एंड अदर्स, उन्होंने सभी ने अपना पॉलिसी डिसीजन लिया कि हम कार्बन न्यूट्रल होंगे। किसी ने 2030 तक लिया, किसी ने 2040 तक लिया, किसी ने 2050 तक लिया। इवन इंडिया में भी मोर देन 200 कॉर्पोरेट्स ये डिसीजन अपनी पॉलिसी डिसीजन ले चुके हैं। तीसरी चीज, सेबी ने अपने उसमें सस्टेनेबिलिटी का एक इंडेक्स रखा है, जो जितनी भी कंपनीज हैं वो उसमें उसमें वो अपने जो एमिशंस है उनको भी ऑफसेट करेंगे सस्टेनेबिलिटी इंडेक्स के अंदर। तो अभी इंडिया के अंदर हो क्या रहा है कि अमेरिकन हैं, जब मैं आपको ओपनली बता दे रहा हूँ, अमेरिकन हैं, वो जो कहते हैं वो करते हैं। तो उनकी कंपनीज ने जो डिसीजन लिया है उसमें दे आर ट्राइंग टू। और दूसरी चीज है वाई फ्रॉम इंडिया ओनली, इसलिए कि एक एमिशन को, एक 1 टन ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड के एमिशन को ऑफसेट करने के लिए यूएस में $50 से लेकर $100 तक खर्च आ रहा है, और वही काम इंडिया में $15 से $20 में हो जा रहा है। सो लाइक दे आर आल्सो फोकसिंग ऑन द एग्रोफॉरेस्ट्री, plantation forestry, RED mechanism under the conservation approach from India, and another thing that Northeast के जो credits हैं, they are further more valuable. अब वो क्यों है? Because Northeast की credits की ज्यादा डिमांड है बाहर में। तो जो क्योंकि हमारे इन्वेस्टर हैं वो बार बार कह रहे हैं कि सर नॉर्थ ईस्ट में जरूर, तभी मैंने अभी कोशिश करके काजीरंगा एंड मानस के 2 प्रोजेक्ट्स, इसमें गवर्नमेंट के साथ प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, एनटीसी ने क्लियर किया है, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने क्लियर किया है, और तब जाके जो टाइगर फाउंडेशन के सीईओस हैं उन्होंने साइन किया है एमओयू। तो एमओयू हमारा ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोग चीजें हवा में कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि पूरा प्रॉपर तरीके से एमओयू साइन करके गवर्नमेंट के अप्रूवल्स के बाद में वो साइन करके तब जाके इसमें हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं।
सर मैं एक क्वेश्चन पूछ लूं,
बिल्कुल
जैसे कि अपन एक एकड़ में अपन 1000 पेड़ लगाते हैं, क्या कार्बन क्रेडिट कितना क्या मिलता है 1 एकड़ के हिसाब से?
तो आपको कैलकुलेट करके आपको उसकी प्रोडक्टिविटी क्या है उसमें बताया जाएगा। ऑफ हैंड इसके रेडी रेकनर्स नहीं है। जैसे कि अभी प्रेजेंटेशन में दिया गया था, उसके करीब इसमें दिया हुआ है कि 25 टन मैक्सिमम आ सकता है आपके पर हेक्टेयर। तो पर हेक्टेयर में तो ये, और उसके मुताबिक मैंने कैलकुलेट भी किया था, क्योंकि दैट इज मैक्सिमम आ सकता है। तो करीब 20,000 के आसपास है ये आता है, जो प्रेजेंट वैल्यू के मुताबिक 20,000 रुपीज
ईयरली रहता है।
ये डिपेंड करेगा कितनी प्रोडक्टिविटी है। अभी ये मैंने मैक्सिमम प्रोडक्टिविटी के ऊपर जो 25 के ऊपर कैलकुलेट किया है ना, 25 के ऊपर कैलकुलेट किया है। तो अगर 25 टन कार्बन पर हेक्टेयर की प्रोडक्टिविटी प्रोडक्टिविटी है उसके अंदर, प्रोडक्शन है, तब ये इतना आ जाएगा। और इट ऑल बी डिपेंडिंग अपॉन योर क्वालिटी प्लांटिंग मटेरियल व्हाट यू आर यूजिंग एंड व्हाट इज द प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ दैट, उस पर डिपेंड करेगा। अब यहाँ पे एक और भी चीज मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा। सेकेंडली इस पे प्रोजेक्ट डॉक्यूमेंट तो बन जाते हैं, बट जो एक्चुअल क्रेडिट्स मिलते हैं वो एक्चुअल मेजरमेंट की बेसिस पे मिलते हैं। तो जो उसमें मेजरमेंट में आपकी जितनी वैल्यू आएगी वो वैल्यू आपको मिलेगी। और ऐसा नहीं होता कि हमने जो कैलकुलेट कर दिया वो फाइनल हो गया। थर्ड पार्टी का वेरिफिकेशन होता है, वो वेरीफाई करते हैं। एक इसका एक बड़ा लॉन्ग प्रोसेस है और उसको मैं आपको 2 मिनट या 4 मिनट में नहीं समझा पाऊंगा। तो ये समझिए कि अगर अमेरिका में भी बैठा हुआ आदमी आपकी रिपोर्ट को देखेगा तो वो हर तरीके से GIS टेक्नोलॉजी से भी वेरीफाई कर लेगा कि उस जगह पे उतने पौधे, पेड़ पौधे उस साइज के हैं कि नहीं है। तो यहाँ तक उतना डिटेल जाता है।
अनिल, ये जो है ना प्रोडक्ट, मतलब जितना जैसे हाई डेंसिटी प्लांटेशन होता है आजकल, हाई डेंसिटी हो गया है, तो प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ जाएगी, तो वो वेरी करेगा आपका। और वो स्पीसीज कौन सा लगा रहे हो वो उस पे वेरी करेगा।
और
तो बहुत सारी चीजें।
एक बार जो यूक्रेन केस में होता है कि एक पेड़ 2000 का हो गया, 3000 का, तो किसानों ने एक हेक्टेयर में 20-10,000 पेड़ लगा दिए। उससे नहीं, ये रॉन्ग नोशन है। इसको जितना आपका प्रोडक्टिविटी होगी, जितना आपकी ऑप्टिमम प्रोडक्टिविटी होगी, उस तरीके से आप उसको मैनेज करें मतलब प्लांटेशन को। और प्लांटेशन से आप टिम्बर की वैल्यू लें, उस एंगल से आप करें। और कार्बन की वैल्यू एक एडिशनल है, को बेनिफिट है आपके लिए। इसको आप की बेनिफिट कभी भी ना माने, को बेनिफिट माने।
ठीक सर।
एक और मेरा
हाँ, बिल्कुल जी।
सपोज देखो, बैम्बू जनरली हम 4th ईयर में काटते हैं,
हाँ,
तो फिर वो यूटिलाइज हो जाता है ना, तो वो कार्बन तो लीक हो गया ना, तो
ना लीक नहीं हुआ।
फार्मर्स को बता दीजिए
ना, उसमें लीकेज का पोर्शन हमें कंपोनेंट रखना पड़ता है ना, रिस्क का भी कंपोनेंट रखना पड़ता है। जब मॉनिटरिंग रिपोर्ट बनती है उसमें दोनों चीजें आती हैं। तो 100% बैम्बू तो लकड़ी जलने में नहीं जाती ना, एमिशन फॉर्म में नहीं जाती ना। जो आप कंस्ट्रक्शन में यूज होती है, जो फर्नीचर में यूज होती है, तो लॉक में चली जाती है ना फिर बाद में।
प्रोपोर्शनली कैलकुलेट होगा ना,
प्रोपोर्शनली कैलकुलेट होती है। और उसमें जो क्रेडिट्स होते हैं वो उसमें सेफ उसमें रखे जाते हैं कि लीकेज के लिए अलग से माइनस, वो सब माइनस किए जाते हैं। हाँ, अच्छा, एक और भी चीज बताता है जो कि हमने भी अभी नई सीखी है, जो कि जिन भी स्पीसीज की साइकिल 5 साल 7 साल होती है, यूकेलिप्टस पॉपुलर वगैरह की, इसमें क्या होता है कि जो लॉन्ग टर्म, इसमें लॉन्ग टर्म एवरेज निकाला जाता है और जो साइकिल का एवरेज निकाला जाता है, विच एवर लेस वो आपको मिलता है। तो उसके बाद पंजाब में 15 लाख मिले, मतलब 15 लाख आए हैं। वेरीफायर उसमें 14 लाख के 14.5 लाख के छोटा मोटा प्लस माइनस होगा, उसमें ज्यादा कुछ।
वो डेटा ऐसा कैलकुलेट करता होगा,
हाँ
कैलकुलेट करके वैल्यू निकालता है।
नहीं, इसमें क्या है कि 100% मेजरमेंट नहीं होती, इसमें स्टैटिस्टिकली रिप्रेजेंटेड होता है।
सर एक क्वेश्चन और था। ये जो आपने बताया फाइनेंशियल प्रोजेक्ट, ये फाइनेंशियली वायबल मिनिमम कितना?
वही मैंने बताया ना, 5, मैंने अपने आप से कैलकुलेट किया उसको थोड़ा सा। 5 से 10,000 हेक्टेयर के बीच में अगर होगा, चाहे वो 10,000 किसानों का मिला के हो, उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता।
ओके, 5 से 10,000,
1 करोड़ नहीं।
हाँ, 5 से 10,000।
चारों उससे भी ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट ये है, हेक्टेयर से नहीं होता है कि कितने उसमें क्लब्स होंगे। तो मतलब 1 करोड़ क्लब्स, 1 करोड़ क्लब्स की बात हो रही है। अगर
प्रोजेक्ट तो आपका एक क्लब का भी बन सकता है टेक्निकली, बट वो इकोनॉमिकली वायबल नहीं होता। जिसको पैसा इन्वेस्ट करना होगा आपके प्रोजेक्ट में, तो वो कम से कम 3.5 लाख 4 लाख क्रेडिट्स पर ईयर का उसको आना चाहिए ना। उसको भी अपनी कोई आगे ब्रोकरेज मिल रही होगी, कुछ मिल रहा होगा। तो ये जैसे हम लोग उसके लिए प्रपोजल प्रोजेक्ट बनाते हैं, काम करते हैं, तो ये करीब उसमें उससे ही बात होकर रखा है कि 3-3.5 लाख कम से कम मिनिमम होना चाहिए।
क्योंकि नंबर ऑफ क्लम्स इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन एरिया।
यस, यू आर राइट।
बहुत ज्यादा आपने एक हेक्टेयर में 2,500 भी लगते हैं, 600 भी लगते हैं, 1,000 भी लगते हैं, तो उसमें बहुत ही ज्यादा वेरिएशन हो जाए। तो नंबर ऑफ क्लम्स इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन एरिया।
And one piece of advice to लेप्चा अगर तुम अपने बिजनौर सॉरी हरिद्वार और जो उधम सिंह नगर वगैरह है जहाँ एग्रो फॉरेस्ट्री के हैं और बहुत बड़ा पोटेंशियल है वहाँ पे, if you can with your good offices, if you can influence the forest officers of the उत्तराखंड, so then we can take up that also. आप ये कहेंगे एग्रो फॉरेस्ट्री में फॉरेस्ट ऑफिसर का क्यों लेते हैं? अब पहली चीज तो ये है कि आई एम ए फॉरेस्टर, तो आई हैव ए बेटर एक्सेस टू द फॉरेस्टर्स, तो एग्रीकल्चर ऑफिसर में तो हमारी एक्सेस हो गई। दूसरा चीज है स्टेट्स में पेड़ पौधे का जो लार्जली काम है वो फॉरेस्ट ऑफिसर कर रहे हैं, एग्रीकल्चर वाले अपना इसको सेकंड ग्रेड ट्रीटमेंट देते हैं एग्रो फॉरेस्ट्री को। सो दैट इज व्हाई वी आर गोइंग थ्रू द कंजर्वेटर ऑफ फॉरेस्ट एज ए प्रोजेक्ट प्रपोजल।
सर एक क्वेश्चन है कि ये जैसे कि एक साल एक कार्बन क्रेडिट कब से मिलने लगता है? एक साल का पौधा होता है?
नहीं, मैंने आपको बताया। देखिए दो चीजें हैं इसमें, हम 4 साल पुराने प्लांटेशन भी टेकअप करते हैं। वॉलंटरी कार्बन मार्केट में 4 साल पुराने कार्बन प्लांटेशन को टेकअप करने का प्रोविजन है और उसमें नहीं था जो कंप्लायंस मार्केट के अंदर। तो अभी हम जो प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे हैं वो वॉलंटरी कार्बन मार्केट के लिए बना रहे हैं। तो आपका 4 साल पुराना प्लांटेशन लिया और जिस दिन एमओयू साइन हुआ उसके 24 महीने के अंदर हम पहले ट्रांजेक्शन की बात करते हैं, तो 4 साल वाला 5 साल का हो गया, 3 साल वाला 4 साल का हो गया, तो इसकी 2 साइकिल लेंगे, तो 2 साइकिल में इसका बेनिफिट मिलेगा। 2 साल की 2 साइकिल लेंगे और 4 साल पुराने हो गए तो टोटल प्रोजेक्ट जो उसका होगा 4 तो 6 तो 8, और प्रोजेक्ट तो थोड़ा और लंबे समय के लिए बनेगा, बट जो मोटे तौर पर उसको तो उसकी टेक्निकल बातें हैं उसके मुताबिक हम लोग बनाते हैं। बट आपके जानकारी के लिए ये 8-10 साल जो है एक्टिव रहेगा।
सर मैं ये पूछ रहा था इसका लिटरेचर मिल जाएगा क्या? पूरा
लिटरेचर मेरा साइट है, आप देख लीजिए, सारा लिटरेचर लिखा हुआ है, आप उसको पढ़ लीजिए। लिटरेचर मिलने कहीं आजकल तो सब चीजें ऑनलाइन है, सारी मेथोडोलॉजी सभी कुछ है ऑनलाइन है। और वैसे भी मैं एक और चीज है, रेड की मेथोडोलॉजी वो चेंज करने जा रहे हैं। 28 को वर्कशॉप है उनकी, आप पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहें तो उसमें भी पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं। मेरा की 28 तारीख को 2 वर्कशॉप है, रेड की मेथोडोलॉजी उसको चेंज करने जा रहे हैं।
क्या एमपी में कुछ क्या 15 जिले हमको कर रहे हैं जैविक खेती पे, तो उसमें मतलब गवर्नमेंट करना चाहती है, तो उसमें हम बैम्बू लगवाना चाह रहे हैं साथ।
आप लगवाइए, तो बैम्बू का इसमें बैम्बू लगवाइए। बैम्बू देखिए 2 चीजें, लगवाइए उसका तो प्रोजेक्ट बन ही सकता है, बट मैंने वही कहा ना कि आपका कम से कम 1 करोड़ पौधा तो होना चाहिए ना, जो दूसरा आदमी आपका प्रोजेक्ट बनाएगा तो वो इकोनॉमिकली वायबल जाए।
अभी तो खैर मैंने प्राइवेट लैंड ली है कम से कम यहाँ 1600-1700 एकड़, उसमें भी करवा रहे हैं टोटल।
आप ही के नाम से बन जाएगा वो एक अकेला प्रोजेक्ट 1600-1700 एकड़ का। तो
हाँ तो भट्टाचार्य से मिल लूंगा।
हाँ बिल्कुल।
I have tried to integrate. I am advisor to Green India, जो ग्रीन इंडिया मिशन का जो है एमपी का, तो उसमें भी मैंने बोला है कि टेक अप बैम्बू इन अ बिग वे यार, उसमें भी कार्बन क्रेडिट के साथ लिंक करके किया है। तो आई विल परस्यू दैट।
ऐसा है ना, मध्य प्रदेश में कैबिनेट ने डिसीजन लिया है कि जो डिग्रेडेड फॉरेस्ट में प्राइवेट एंटरप्रेन्योर अपना इन्वेस्टमेंट करेगा और जो कार्बन क्रेडिट्स जो है वो प्राइवेट एंटरप्रेन्योर को मिलेंगे, बेनिफिट्स कम्युनिटीज को मिलेंगे। यहाँ पे मेरा प्रश्न है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश से, कार्बन क्रेडिट को पेड़ पर नहीं लगते, उसके लिए प्रोसेस के थ्रू जाना पड़ता है और कोई संस्था होती है, वो संस्था उसको इशू करती है, तब वो वैलिड होते हैं, मान्य होते हैं, तब उनको आप कह सकते हैं कि हमारे इतने कार्बन क्रेडिट्स आए। ऐसे नहीं कि मैंने आपने बोल दिया तो कार्बन क्रेडिट्स या किसी पेड़ पर लगे तो वहां से हम लेके आ गए, तो उसको तो वो प्रोसेस, उसके लिए मध्य प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट को थोड़ा सा आगे आना पड़ेगा, उसको करना पड़ेगा
के लिए। तो ग्रीन इंडिया मिशन वालों को भी बुला लेंगे उसमें।
ठीक है,
तो बैम्बू, ग्रीन इंडिया मिशन और दोनों के साथ के विल फाइनलाइज।
नहीं, ये तो नौकरी उसके लिए काम कर रहे हैं, तो
नहीं मैं तो बिल्कुल प्रो बोनो कर रहा हूँ ना, मैं तो आई एम मिशन गिविंग दैट, आई एम डूइंग इट प्रो बोनो, आई एम मिशन गिविंग।
दैट इज व्हाई मैंने तुम कोई से कहा था प्रेजेंटेशन, तो दैट्स व्हाई मैंने कहा मैं प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं करूंगा, मैं आपको
नहीं अच्छा रहा, इट वाज वेरी गुड, इट वाज वेरी गुड, इट वाज गुड। एंड I hope if
बस
anybody
एक लास्ट
is not here,
क्वेश्चन है
अरे
डॉक्टर तेज सर
तो बिल्कुल
सारे एक बार में करोगे, रुक के निकल।
लेक्चर पूछ रहा हूँ।
नहीं इसमें कोई 2-3 प्राइवेट कंपनी भी है ऐसे मतलब बोल रहे थे कि फोन आया था मिजोरम बैम्बू मिशन को मुझे पूछ रहे थे कहाँ तक ऑथेंटिक है
देखिए दो चीजें हैं। देखिए ऑथेंटिक तो अभी कह सकते हैं कि ऑथेंटिक जो हम लोग कर रहे हैं उसको थोड़ा ऑथेंटिक इसलिए मान सकते हैं कि इन्वेस्टर इज इन्वेस्टिंग मनी और अब तक वो 10 करोड़ से ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट कर चुका है। अब 10 करोड़ कोई भी ऐसे तो इन्वेस्ट नहीं करेगा। और हाँ 2 महीने बाद हम आपको बता देंगे जो ऑथेंटिक पंजाब का ट्रांजेक्शन होते ही 2 महीने या मैक्सिमम 3 महीने में पंजाब का ट्रांजेक्शन हो जाएगा। पंजाब का लगभग 2 साल पुराना हो गया प्रोजेक्ट। हाँ तो उसके बाद मैं आपको फर्दर ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ आपको कह पाऊंगा कि और 40 to 100 फार्मर्स को इतना वैसे उनका जो पैसा आ रहा है 85 से 90 करोड़ के बीच में 40 to 100 फार्मर्स।
तो नॉर्थ ईस्ट से क्वेरी
नॉर्थ ईस्ट से अभी हम 2 मानस और काजीरंगा में प्रोजेक्ट टेकअप किया जो कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट में एग्रो फॉरेस्ट्री बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है।
बैम्बू में कोशिश करें
नहीं बैम्बू में कर सकते हैं तो मैंने बताया मिनिमम उतना थोड़ा प्लांटेशन होना चाहिए।
नहीं Jerry, you'll be surprised to learn we don't have any baseline data कि मध्य प्रदेश में प्राइवेट में कितने और ट्रिमेंडस है बहुत है। हमने जब भी अभी लेकिन हमारे पास
इसमें एक और भी चीज बता दें जो बैम्बू या एग्रो फॉरेस्ट्री की प्रोडक्शंस में हम लोग प्रोजेक्ट बनाते हैं इसमें बेसलाइन 0 रखते हैं और बेसलाइन 0 केवल जीआईएस पे जो कि वहाँ पे पहले खेत था खेत खलियान था तो उसकी जीआईएस से प्रूव करना पड़ता है कि यहाँ ये मतलब फर्स्ट टाइम मिटिगेट क्लाइमेट चेंज किया गया है तो इसको मतलब वो प्रोजेक्ट बनाना भी थोड़ा आसान हो जाता है।
नहीं I'm not talking of the plantation. I'm saying that the already available stock है private land पे bamboo stock उसका इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है हमारे पास।
हाँ तो वो इंफॉर्मेशन तो रखना तो हाँ क्योंकि एज ए प्रोजेक्ट ओनर आपको वो इंफॉर्मेशन आपको देनी पड़ेगी ना हमें वो।
Yes. Okay, it was wonderful. I think actually Blepu Mission director is he has informed he joined. He is not going to join. So we now so conclude this with words of so much gratitude and thanks to all the speakers and the spokespersons and organizers and all my mates. To make it success, at least one phase of this journey is over. We'll take up the next phase in another 1 month or so. And I think this has been a great experience for all of us. And we want to have a good output of the whole experience in form of a book or proceedings. And Charu would like to conclude. I want to say something at the end.
Sir, I have got
It's nice to see lecture. Charu, go ahead. Charu, wanted to say something?
या मुझे कुछ काम आ गया सर मैं
Okay. And thank you. Good luck to all of you and look forward to see you all soon. And let's contribute to the cause of bamboo. I think it will be a great cause at the local level, regional level, and the federal level, all and global. So now I am working global to local. So presently I'm working at village level, and so let's take it forward. Thank you very much. All the best. Good luck.